Good afternoon. I will now call to order the April 3rd, 2018 special meeting of the City of Rancho Mirage City Council, Library and Observatory Board, Housing Authority Board, and the City Council representing the Redevelopment Successor Agency. Please join me and stand for the flag salute. Josh, will you lead?
Ready? Begin.
Thank you. We will now have the roll call, please. Chrissy?
Councilmember Hobart?
Here.
Councilmember Smotrich? Here. Councilmember Weil?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Kite?
Here.
And Mayor Townsend.
Here. Now we will have our presentations moving along. First is recognition of service for Mr. Tim Holt. I'll turn this over to our city manager, Randy Binder. You're welcome.
Mr. Holt, Mr. Kopp, come on down. You're the next contestants. Tim Holt is a local architect. He's been on the city's Architectural Review Board for 15 years. It's a volunteer position, by the way. He has a small architectural firm with other family members located right in Rancho Mirage. He's lived on Early Times Road for as long as I've worked here, at least 30-something years. And he's been on the ARB for 15 years, which I think I mentioned already. And Tim stopped by and said he was retiring and that he would not be reapplying to be on the ARB coming May. So naturally, Bud and I got together and said, well, we have to thank him for his service, and this is a perfect opportunity to do it. And so Tim comes to the council meetings about once every 15 years. The last time was to be appointed, now is to retire. And I would like to read the certificate. Actually, Bud, you have a couple of anecdotes, don't you?
Yeah, I'd like to say a few things, and I have a little cheat sheet here just so I don't forget a couple of them. But
3-minute limit though for Bud?
oh no, I got one.
2.5 for Bud.
It's one page 16-point font, so I'm okay. But Tim was appointed to ARB about 16 years ago, and I've had the pleasure of working with you, Tim, for the past 11 years. Tim's a licensed architect in the state of California, Arizona, Hawaii, and Michigan, and has reviewed numerous projects in the city of Rancho Mirage over his tenure, which has resulted in elevated quality, design, and thoughtful solutions to sometimes difficult questions. Some key projects that Tim has contributed his expertise toward include the Palm Springs Desert Resorts and Visitors Authority building, the beautiful award-winning City of Rancho Mirage Public Library, Diversified Rehabilitation Hospital, which was recently acquired by Vibra Healthcare and is nearing final completion. Believe me, it is. I'm being called out on an inspection tomorrow. Children's Discovery Museum expansion, numerous projects at the Eisenhower Medical Center, the Sunnylands Visitor Center, and recently completed administrative buildings, the final phase of Monterey Marketplace, and many other fine residential, communities, commercial, and office projects in the city. Really too many to mention in the time I have today. We in the planning division have really enjoyed working with you, Tim, and you've been a tremendous asset to the city, the Architectural Review Board, and you will be greatly missed. The upside is that retirement brings new opportunities, and I know that you're looking forward to spending more time with your family, your children in Santa Monica, your 2 granddaughters, and you'll get to trade more of those hot summer Coachella Valley days for some cooler days in northern Michigan, and take the time to pursue some of the most important things in life, which include family. And on behalf of the Rancho Mirage planning staff, congratulations on your retirement, and we wish you the absolute best.
Thank you very much.
We're not done with the roast. So, certificate of appreciation. I just want to tell one quick story. one day, many years ago, Tim came in and said, "Randy, let's take a drive." And I said, "Great, I thought he was taking me to lunch or something, right?" No, he wanted to show me the solar installation. This is when rooftop solar was first starting in Rancho Mirage. And for those of you that have a list of the mistakes that Randy Binder has made over 32 years, this is probably number 18. Not as bad as the ones above it, of course, but there's a white house in Tamarisk Ridge, and the solar panels were at an angle and they extended all the way to the edge of the roof, and the support structures were not anodized aluminum to match the roof. They were aluminum looking, and it didn't look right. And he basically just said, for the future, this is something that you might want to talk to staff about, and that is the kind of guy he is. And that was a great 10 minutes of my life. Thank you. But those are the things we learned as planners from the professionals. Certificate of Appreciation awarded to Timothy M. Holt in recognition of 15 years of service on the Rancho Mirage Architectural Review Board. Thank you for your contributions to upholding the excellent design standards of this fine community. On behalf of the entire city, we wish you health and happiness in your well-deserved retirement. Signed, Randy Binder and Bud Kopp. Congratulations.
I can just respond to that very humbly and say that I've appreciated every meeting. Every one of these 15 years has been a real pleasure from a professional and personal standpoint. So thank you to staff and council and everyone here at the city. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Next is a presentation on All Things Are Possible by Mr. Robert Horn. Robert? There you are. Welcome.
Make sure this is on. You can hear me?
Yes.
I've got some exciting news to share with you. My name is Robert Horn. I'm the president of All Things Are Possible. This is a nonprofit for special needs children, first of its kind, actually. And we're offering music and motion therapy for these special needs children. And let's see if I can do this. There we go. As you can see, looking at the screen, autism is what we're focusing with initially. It's in epidemic levels according to the medical field. 1 child in 68 is born each day with autism. There's no medical cure for it, and worldwide, over 70 million people have autism. We're going to be dealing with that. The autism syndrome, if you know of people with autism, it's kind of like they're in a little shield of their own. I want to talk to you, I want to meet with you, but I don't know how to communicate or how to socially connect with you. So they sit at the end of the play yards and are kind of left alone, and we want to change all that. In the valley here, we have 386 kids at Desert Sand School District with autism, and you pick up Coachella and Palm Springs Unified, we're over 1,000 kids, and we'll be able to work with the first 300 over the first year, but our work is cut out for us. We're also going to be working with special needs kids that have Down syndrome, bipolar, cerebral palsy, and other special needs. Those kids, there's about 3,000 in Desert Sands and about 9,000, 10,000 valley-wide that we can work with. This is interesting. I guess I am. Nancy, you want to come up here? And here we go. Quite by accident, we've discovered a way to help these kids, and it's using music. Our medical board says music will open up both sides of your brain. Oh, that side. Okay. All right, I got you. I had it upside down, pardon me. We started out about 10 years ago with Red Hot Ballroom here in the Valley. It's really taken off. We're now in 39 school districts throughout the Valley, from Mecca all the way to Desert Hot Springs. These are regular kids. We teach them the social graces and ballroom dancing and how to really connect with each other. It's a good program. Right now we're this May, we'll be putting 1,800 kids through a competition. So it gets a lot of support that way. Quite by accident, I was invited, I received an email from UCLA Medical Center in Westwood saying, Bob, would you come down and talk about Red Hot Ballroom? We're doing a workshop on autism, and we're scratching our heads trying to figure out how we can help these kids. So I went down, I met with them, went through their discussions, told them quite by accident we've had autistic kids in the program, and it's completely changed them, got rid of the screen. We will be teaching, we'll be teaching 5 forms of therapy over a 26-week period. We're going to start out initially with 3 of them. Ballroom dancing, dancing with all the girls and the girls with the boys. Ukulele and voice. Some of the kids have not spoken from birth, so we'll teach them how to play the uke and then hum and sing songs with a speech therapist and get them back talking again. And then basic movement for those that have body problems. They can't move their arms and legs, so we'll teach them how to do that. We're looking for a facility addition that will allow us to add the other 2, music and in terms of band and orchestra. The Coachella Valley Symphony is going to be working with us with our gifted kids with autism, with Asperger, I'm sorry. Our medical team that's been working with us since day one is a neurologist, pediatrician, speech therapist, psychologist, and music therapist. And they are making medical reports, and we'll be giving them to the kids. In addition to that, KMIR has been very helpful. Janet over there said she'd like to set up a program where she can come out and monitor our progress and put it on her TV program. And we might even do some other things with them. What's allowing us to get started is we're partnering with the Desert Recreational District. They have a beautiful facility on Clinton and Indio, and they're going to give us 10 hours a week. Well, with 15 kids in a class, that becomes about 150 kids that we can work with for 26 weeks. They do have other facilities in La Quinta, but we need to get a big building of our own. That would really help to kick it off. In conclusion, what I'd like to ask everybody is if you have a nickel or a dime or a quarter, if you'd like to help donate, that we sure could use the money, because we need $25,000 to get started. What that is basically is for the teaching equipment, the video equipment, and insurance, all that kind of stuff. So that's the reason I'm here, to see if you can jump in and help us in partnership with the program. Thank you. Are there any questions?
Any questions of council to Robert? Iris?
No, I have no questions, but I would like to make a comment, because I had the honor of meeting Bob at a board meeting of the Planetary and Observatory Committee, and I was so enthralled with his background and the work that both he and his wife have done that I asked him if he would come and make a presentation, because unfortunately, people with special needs are very dear and near to my heart. My husband and I have been very fortunate over the years that we've been able to help provide some schooling for 2 children since they were toddlers. They are now teenagers, and it is so rewarding to see the progress that can be made through programs like yours and through special education. So I really wanted to give you a special thank you for all that you are doing. It is so meaningful and so important. And as you say, autism is so prevalent that it's something that we can't just brush aside. It requires so much effort and so much money, especially for these young families. So thank you again for all you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Iris, have we received an application yet for funding?
We received the application, and we are in the middle of processing whatever needs have to be met, and we're going to do our best.
Okay, good. Thank you.
By the way, when we get band going, I'm going to ask each of you, if you have a musical instrument you haven't played in 10 years, we could use as a donation for our band. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Robert. Appreciate that. All right. Next, we're going to move on to non-agenda public comments. This is the opportunity for the public to speak on items that are not on the agenda. As a reminder, please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Give me the city that you live in and state your name. So with that, I'm going to start with Alan Worthy. Hi, Alan. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Good.
So quickly, I brought one of these packets for all of you to have. And the front cover, unfortunately and sadly, covers the malfeasance at the Legal and Risk Management Departments in Eisenhower, which is fluid, which had cheated me out of the settlement from Nationwide. But my phone has not stopped ringing with the bill collectors at this point, and I don't appreciate it. So that's the first one, and the second one is a letter, an open letter. The third one is the letter from Celine Kaiser, the Director of Risk Management, which are both a civil crime and a felony, which I mentioned before. And that's that in that packet. Also, how it's affecting my credit is also included again. So the Palm Springs police were at my home just last night because I am again in a very serious legal situation with regard to the fraudulent reconveyance of my loan and my home, and these parties, certain of that group, threatening to kill me. So the police were there just last night. You know, I think we'd all agreed that, you know, this has to change. I know that none of you are happy to hear this about Eisenhower. And again, the situation in Palm Springs continues to this day. Unfortunately, too many of those people elected over there were of the Kool-Aid crowd, as we call it. And to date, they have failed to respond appropriately to any of these crimes. Part of the discussion last night and again yesterday, I put a demand on the city to settle with me for the police harassment and brutality, as though I needed another physical assault other than the pileup and the other assault that I've endured. So moving on, one more time, I'm going to read this letter that I wrote to the Desert Sun, because suffice to say, since it's critical of Eisenhower, I don't think they're going to print it. Unless I missed it, I don't think so. But I was in LA. I missed your dedication to your observatory, so congratulations on that. I am writing in 100% support to these 3 incumbents running for Rancho Mirage City Council. Contrary to being behind the times, as a current recent letter suggested of Mr. Hobart, are resting on his laurels, I can assure everyone that that is not the case. So concerned was they, that the world-class resort city of Palm Springs had gone over the cliff. Mr. Hobart attended numerous special meetings at the Palm Springs Convention Center and City Hall after the FBI raid and the election of 2016. Personally, I was the bearer of bad news as to the moral turpitude I was experiencing at Eisenhower Medical Center. This unfortunately caused me to send 2 of their attorneys to the bar for discipline the 3rd time around. Knowing that what esteem the city holds Eisenhower, I was unsure as how this news would be received. The council et al. Has been completely supportive. The proof of the pudding came recently when the city decided to table their annual financial gift to Eisenhower until my matter is resolved. The council incumbents taken seriously their oaths to serve the voters and to whom they are responsible, and to the quality of life the city provides. Sincerely, Thomas Allen Worthy.
Mr. Worthy, read slowly what you say I did with respect to attending meetings at City Hall and somewhere before that. Read that again, please.
Yeah, I think most of that's in the first paragraph, well, in the second as well. Contrary to being behind the times, or as a recent letter suggested, Mr. Hobart is, quote, resting on his laurels, I can assure everyone this is not the case. The second paragraph, so concerned was he, and I included all of you, they, that world-class resort city Palm Springs had gone over the cliff. Mr. Hobart attended numerous special meetings at the Palm Springs Convention Center and City Hall.
Okay, stop right there. I didn't attend any meetings at either of those locations, ever. So I don't know where you got your information, but I want you to have accurate information. I don't think I've ever even been to the City Hall in Palm Springs, and I know I didn't attend any meetings there, and I didn't attend any meetings over at the convention center or around the convention center in any way, at any time, on any subject.
I may be wrong about the convention center, but we did see each other one night at the City Hall.
We saw each other a couple of weeks ago at the opera celebratory dinner.
No, I'm going back to 2016. We saw each other at the City Hall.
No. I can't say that it's impossible that I would have never forgotten it, but
well,
I do want you to know that I stand on my statement. I've never even been to the City Hall, unless you're talking about some portion of it where the public and the city council are in the same room, same group.
Correct.
I've been to a couple of those over the years.
Yeah, sure. I'm talking about the public meeting
But I haven't
like this
spoken
one.
on any subject that
No.
you've talked about, and I wasn't there for any subject you talked about. I was there for different subjects, and I think I've been over there 2 or 3 times over the past 15 years, but never on a subject that you've talked about. I don't mean to quarrel with you, but I do want the record to be completely straight.
Sure. Well, yeah, so you were there, and I took that at that time, and I thanked you here, and then made a joke about it that I had hoped I wasn't outing you in front of everyone else, that you were attending meetings at the time of all the, tension and whatnot over there. And at one point, it's when I leaned over the row of seats and said, "Can you hear me?" Because my voice goes up and down, as all of you, I think, have witnessed, and then people accuse me of yelling when I'm not yelling, when my voice comes back, and I said, "Can you hear me?" And you said, "Yes," and I said, "Because this started at Eisenhower." But I had thanked you that night over there and here.
I'm not saying we weren't there for different reasons on the same night, but please don't draw me into any of the issues that you have been dealing with, because I haven't had anything to do with those issues.
No.
Ever.
No. I just took it as a sign of support that you were showing up over there.
Well, I can't control how you took it, so.
I'm sorry?
I can't control how you took it, but I wasn't there to give you support because I didn't know you were on the agenda. I was there for another reason that was on the agenda.
Oh, okay. Well, we were happy to see you. Any form of reality in that corrupt, fallen city, you were a welcome face. So I don't mean to imply anything else or put words in anyone's mouth, for sure. So I'm sorry if it's not clear. But we do thank you for being there. So thank you.
Thank you, Helen.
Thank you. Let's just hope and pray that this is resolved soon in the courthouse in Indio over there and at Eisenhower. And, you know, we just need to demand the truth and the rule of law per the DA's office, and I'm quoting Miss Annie Lofthouse. Enough is enough. And whoever any of you know at the Desert Sun, you need to make a phone call. I mean, for them to play the politics, and again, I thank all of you for not playing the politics, for standing up on the ethics and moral and your oath that you signed, because all 5 of them over there are in violation of their oath, okay? And these criminals, again, for those, any of you who are confused out in anywhere, every one of these criminals, which originated in Rancho Mirage, are still running free, as discussed with the police just last night.
Thank you, Helen.
Thank you.
Appreciate
we
it.
demand more of the Desert Sun. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Mr. Ron Shiro. State your name, where you live, and 3 minutes. I think I know you, though.
I'm Ronald Shiro. I serve on the Speaker Series Commission here for the city. Been a resident of Rancho Mirage for the last 7 years. A resident of the city, of the Coachella Valley for almost 20 years. Before I address the reason I came here, I'd like to extend my gratitude to the City Council, the members of the city staff, for the fabulous job you do running this city. It's the best city in the valley, perhaps in the state of California, maybe in the whole world, I don't know, but I'm grateful, and I'm sure I'm conveying the feelings of many other residents of the city, so thank you very much for that. I came to address the unfortunate death of that bicyclist yesterday at Dinah Shore and Bob Hope. As a resident of the Valley for a long number of years, and I should state that I practiced law in the state of Maryland for 35 years, and I specialized in that specialty known as ambulance chasing. So I have quite some familiarity with the traffic laws, at least in Maryland, and I'm sure they're the same here. I've been amazed at the number of people who walk around this city holding hands with their children, spread out across the driving lane of a street that has no sidewalks, with their backs to traffic. Now, it's dangerous, and it's also against the law. I believe the laws in the state of California require, if you're walking a street that has no sidewalks, that you walk facing oncoming traffic. Laws involving bicycles are completely different. They have to follow the rules of the road. And I don't know what happened yesterday. I know the cyclist was killed. I spent the time to go there and take a look at that intersection. There are no bike lanes at that point on Bob Hope or on Dinah Shore. And not that would make any difference. I just don't know what happened or who was at fault. But I have a suggestion. I don't know if the city can invoke this in opposition to the state laws of California, but I think bicycles should be subjected to similar rules as pedestrians. If you're riding a bike and you follow the rules of the road, you have to drive or ride with traffic. However, if you're on a street that has no bicycle lane, you're in danger if you don't ride facing traffic as a pedestrian would. And I think that, I don't know what happened yesterday, but I think had that been the case, that accident might not have happened. The cyclist was obviously, I don't know what direction he was going in. I don't know what direction the truck that hit him was going in, if it came from behind him or was making a turn. But it just stands to reason as a practical matter that if you're riding a bike on a street that has no bicycle lane, that you ride facing oncoming traffic so you become aware of any possible danger and have an opportunity at least to avoid a collision of some sort. And that's a suggestion that I make. I don't know legally whether you can impose a law that is different from the state of California's laws, but as a practical matter, I think that might end up saving some lives. I don't think, I mean, there are two reasons to ride a bicycle, either for recreation or for transportation. If you're riding for transportation, you don't have a choice of riding on a street that has a bicycle lane. You're going to take a street that's going to get you where you have to go. And so it might be a consideration. I thank you.
Thank you, Ron. Appreciate that. Next, we have Mrs. Ms. Kate Spade. State your name, city where you live.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Kate Spades. I live in Rancho Mirage, and I'm also running for Rancho Mirage City Council, as you know. Oftentimes I'm asked some questions that I don't have the answers to, so I go to work and try to do my best to get the answers. Obviously, I need to understand the budget, so I dug in and was looking at the budget, and my accounting background, an error jumped out at me in the amount of $10 million. And so I did a spreadsheet and sent it to Isaiah, and he confirmed that it was, in fact, an error, that it was a missing link. So I actually brought a presentation here, so if you, or here, I got it. So right here where the two arrows are, those lines don't add up, and so then subsequently those totals end up being the totals for the beginning budget, which does add up. So I questioned that, and so I'm glad to hear. But it was published for 9 months, approved and published on your website for 9 months, and you call me a newcomer, and the newcomer found that. So also, I wanted to talk about the observatory. So I went to the observatory dedication, as many people did, and there were some questions about when it will open, what the programs will be, and I asked 3 separate people, and nobody seemed to tell me. I did get something today that there's a stargazing event, in fact, tonight, so I'm excited about that. But what's interesting is that you mentioned, Mr. Hobart, that there will be 100 to 200 events per year at the observatory. When we were at our homeowners association, the Rancho Mirage Community Homeowners Association. And so that was confusing because it looks like there's only going to be 1 event a month for the stargazing. And in that stargazing, I'm concerned about the light pollution, and it's been kind of glossed over. So I did some research on light pollution, and there's actually great information out there. In fact, you can zoom in exactly on where it is that you want to see what the measure of brightness is. And so I have those, and that's the library right there. And it's measured at 2.32 MCD over M squared, which is a measurement of light. And you can see that is right here, which means that the Milky Way will not be visible, as well as other things won't be visible. The best, rich in detail, is much lower. And so to give you a comparison, College of the Desert just opened up an observatory in Mecca. And so I looked up what their MCD is, and it's 0.538. And so on that same meter, it's much more visible. So I know that it's been said that there were extensive searches of where to put the observatory. But then you also said that you were looking for something to put next to the library. So I want to make sure that this investment in our community is actually a great investment. The building is gorgeous. Nobody's going to deny that. But if it doesn't work, what will we say then? How will we accomplish that? And when I talked to the library director, he said, because I said, it's going to be open at night, right? And he said, no, just a couple of times. And I said, well, how are we going to see the stars? Isn't that when you can see it? And he said, oh, well, we have a trick. We can take pictures and project them the next day. And so I thought, well, so I'm very confused, and so are people who have asked me. So I'm the messenger asking for answers to those questions. Okay, thank you.
Are there any other people that would like to speak on subjects not on the agenda? Please come forward, state your name and the city which you reside.
Wally Melendez, citizen of the Coachella Valley, and I'd like to thank you all for the opportunity of this 3 minutes, and I'd like to ask that you enforce equally the 3-minute rule. I'm sure Mr. Worthy, if he's having problems now, but with his talent, I'm sure he will rise again. I want to say that we are lucky, we are so lucky that we live in America. And just think for a moment what is happening in Venezuela. I happen to speak the same language that Venezolanos hablan. So, and I'm from the border originally. I'm from Brownsville, Texas. Brownsville, Texas, for those people that don't understand Chicano. So, I want to, let me know when I have 30 seconds left on my 3 minutes, and it would be a good idea to let people know when they get up for the 3 minutes that they will be warned that they only have 30 seconds left so they can conclude their 3 minutes. So, who's going to give me my warning of 30 seconds? Anybody? So anyway, so we are so lucky to be living in America, of course. And I might as well say it. I've never led the Pledge of Allegiance. Every time that I get up to say the Pledge of Allegiance, even in a crowd, my voice cracks. When I go, I pledge allegiance, my voice cracks. I don't know why. Well, I do know why, because I have a weak voice, of course, but I want to lead the Pledge of Allegiance. And I want to get over that, and I want to give the best Pledge of Allegiance than anybody in this room. How many seconds do I have left?
You're almost there. You're almost there.
So you're getting my point. You're getting my point. Yes. We're also so lucky to get this 3 minutes that Mr. Brown, I think, the father or the grandfather of the Browns, whom a lot of people don't like, but I love the way that they play fair, especially for this 3 minutes that we get. Not everybody gets that opportunity. Most of the time when you go to any political party, there's always the tough guy that you don't know who's going to jump on you. No, I don't mean that. I mean, you know, you get like shouldered out of the way. But here we have this great opportunity, and I love it. And I love you all.
Thank you. You had your 3 minutes and more.
Amen.
Thank you. Are there any others in the audience who have not filled out a card who would speak on any subject? All right, seeing none, I will move on after that to council comments, and I will start. In case you weren't paying attention the last few days, we, and a large part of the world, just witnessed a historic finish to the 2018 ANA Inspiration. More on that in a moment. We'll go through that. The ANA Inspiration is the city's most significant marketing endeavor, providing Rancho Mirage with global exposure. The tournament puts Rancho Mirage in the homes of over 500 million households in 166 countries. Here's a look at this year's mayor's welcome video that played throughout the world. Hello, and welcome to the 2018 ANA Inspiration here in beautiful Rancho Mirage, heart of the Palm Springs Valley. Each year, visitors from around the world gather here to find out who will take the Champions Leap into Poppy's Pond. So Yin, you made that famous leap last year. What a great experience that must have been.
It certainly was, Mr. Mayor. It was my dream to one day win this tournament and take that famous leap, which is celebrating 30th year. That is a memory I will definitely cherish forever.
Well, it's a memory that I certainly will cherish as well. Perhaps you can join us here in Rancho Mirage and be part of history too.
And Poppy's Pond awaits that leap from the winner, Amy Elcott.
And there it is.
Charlie, who was that young guy?
It wasn't me.
Boy.
It wasn't me. It was not me. Well, maybe it was, Richard. Maybe it was. Thank you for that wonderful compliment. So 72 holes and 4 playoff holes weren't enough to boil this championship down to one deserving winner. The bid to a crown, a champion Sunday, was historic, with tournament officials cranking up lights to try to complete the sudden death off playoff in the dark. Play was called after the 4th due to the darkness. For the first time in the 47-year history of the ANA Inspirations and the LPGA in the desert, 2 players returned to Mission Hills Country Club to decide a winner. Imby Park and Penelope Lindbergh returned to the course Monday morning at 8 a.m. to resume the playoff on hole number 10, starting from there and working their way back. And after 3 tied holes, Lindbergh eventually made a putt from 25-foot hole for birdie on the 10th green to beat the 29-year-old Olympian champion from South Korea. Penelope Lindbergh celebrated her first professional victory in the biggest way possible in women's golf. Her first win ever was capped off with additional leap into Poppy's Pond, accompanied by her caddy and fiancé Danielle Taylor and her mom and dad. And as I said, I was not going to jump into it, even though there were people who would have loved to see me go in and sink. Penelope, and I quote, "The only person that I play golf is because of my parents. They're the ones who introduced me to the game, and I'm so happy they can be here and share this moment with me." That's what she said. We think it's pretty special. Lindbergh was able to win her first major championship right here in the 92270 zip code of Rancho Mirage. In addition to the ANA tournament, the city also played host to the annual AEP statewide conference last week, and that took place at the Westin Mission Hills Resort. AEP is short for Association of Environmental Professionals, and the annual conference attracts planners, environmentalists, and professionals from throughout California. I happen to be honored to participate in the conference's opening keynote address with City Manager Randy Binder, and I'm pleased to announce that the city's recently updated general plan received a merit award for being an outstanding planning document. And there it is. Randy, congratulations. We have a wonderful staff. How long did it take to work on that? Let's hear it.
It's about 2 years in the making.
Wonderful, wonderful. Just absolutely beautiful. Appreciate that. Now, that's all I have to say, so I'm going to move on to council comments. Mr. Kite.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think next year the mayor should go into Poppy's Pond. Don't you think so?
Well, they tried to drag me in this year, but I refused.
Got a question for you, Mayor. What is your favorite dog park in the valley?
Let me see. The one that was just revitalized again for utmost internal wonders.
You guessed it. You're right on. And I'm proud to announce that the Rancho Mirage Dog Park is the recipient of the 2017 California Parks and Recreation Society Award of Excellence. The California Parks and Recreation Society considers parks throughout the entire state of California for their prestigious award. This award recognizes excellence in design of completed park facilities intended for public use. I'm also proud to announce that the recipient of this prestigious award for excellence in park planning and design of the Rancho Mirage Dog Park. Undoubtedly worthy of this award, our beautiful park hosts many visitors, residents, and pooches. Pooches is a technical term.
Is that pooches? Poochie is right?
Daily, and will continue to be enjoyed for years into the future. What a great asset our city has. And just to show you that we actually did win, here's the award that Jesse and I were able to go up and receive, and it was a great honor to be there. So you guys all know it already, but Rancho Mirage Dog Park is the best in the state of California.
Thank you, Richard. So nice to know that we do have so many wonderful things in Rancho Mirage and that we are on the move and we are looking forward to the future and don't live in the past. Thank you. Mr. Hobart.
Mr. Mayor, I'm saddened to announce that one of the great human beings of the Coachella Valley, Jim Houston, recently passed. And Jim was a longtime Valley philanthropist whose charity touched dozens upon dozens of organizations here in the Coachella Valley. And I don't know how many people know that, but he also lived for a bit in Rancho Mirage, but mainly he resided in his house that he and Jackie Lee had built about 20 years ago or so, a little less than that. He was just a super person, and one of the things that he will remain famous in my mind for is his statement that the city of Rancho Mirage is the best managed city in the valley, probably or possibly in the nation. And that was quite a compliment coming from someone like Jim. And I just wonder if we couldn't take a moment of silence in his memory, much of which has been to our benefit as a city.
Please do. Everybody, a moment of silence, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would also like to add one other thing. I've got a document called Profile of the City of Rancho Mirage, prepared by the Southern California Association of Governments Regional Council. And it's dated May of 2017. I think it's the current one in existence at this moment. And they did a survey of population in various cities, Rancho Mirage being one. And here are some statistics that hopefully will remind some people to be accurate in presenting. Between 2000 and 2016, the age group 65 plus experienced the largest increase in share, growing from 43% to 47.6%. The age group that experienced the greatest decline by share was age group 35 to 54, decreasing from 20.7% to 15.5%. And the third item of their interesting data, the age group 65 plus added the most population, with an increase of 3,171 people between the year 2000 and 2016. So I'm glad to announce that the durability of those with age upon them is in good hands, doing well, and surviving. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Dana. Iris?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just one brief reminder to people that we are going to soon be changing and accepting new people on the different commissions in Rancho Mirage. There are 16 different commissions, and it holds 94 people. So if you're at all interested in volunteering for the city of Rancho Mirage, please come by, pick up an application, fill it out, or go online and fill it out. New jobs will be assigned starting June 1st. So if you're thinking about volunteering, please don't hesitate. We'd love to have you participate. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Iris. Ted?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On Sunday, March 25th, the city of Rancho Mirage celebrated the grand opening of the Rancho Mirage Observatory. We hosted 1,000 attendees, a phenomenal turnout, a testament to the excitement that the observatory is generating. The City Council conducted the official ribbon cutting. There were guided tours given to 795 attendees that day. Out-of-the-world refreshments included astronaut ice cream, moon pies, both a big hit. The observatory will provide a unique opportunity to explore the universe from right here in Rancho Mirage. This is a test photo of Bode's galaxy, a spiral galaxy somewhat similar to our own Milky Way galaxy. It is over 45,000 times further away at 11.8 million light years distant. In contrast, the center of the Milky Way galaxy is 26,000 light years away. Yesterday marked the start of daily tours of the observatory. Tours will be available Monday through Friday from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. and from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Observatory programming begins today and will continue each Tuesday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., covering a variety of topics. Stargazing parties will take place on April 10th, May 8th, and June 12th. Registration is required. Please continue to visit the library website at www.ranchomiragelibrary.org for more information and watch for future announcements. I'd like to recite a quick story that I had the pleasure of sharing with Rick Armstrong, the son of Neil Armstrong, the astronaut that was at the opening. I was bitten by the astronomy bug about 25 years ago. I was on a rafting trip with my son going down the Snake River in Idaho. And we were out camping, sitting around the fire. There was another gentleman on the trip. We were looking up at the moon, the stars, and I thought I heard him say, "I was there." I knew he had brought a couple of bottles of bourbon with him, and I figured, well, this was kind of loose talk. Turned out that the man that was on the raft with us was a gentleman by the name of Gene Cernan. Now, astronaut Cernan is the last man to walk on the moon. So how cool was it to be sitting there, hearing the astronaut extol his experiences walking on the moon? I was so intrigued and enthralled by the stories that I then pursued the interest, and I think it has only been heightened as a result of the observatory that we have here in Rancho Mirage. So again, Gene Cernan, who's no longer with us, I thank you, and I welcome everyone to enjoy the observatory. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Ted. Can I go back to the count of how many people were there again? What was that, the estimate?
Well, there were actually probably 1,000 attendees, and 795 people took tours.
Right, and the reason I asked that, there's an accurate statement floating around that we had maybe 200 people there, so I just wanted that to be corrected for the record. Thank you.
Who said that? Who said 200? What?
Somebody that is running for city council made a statement in a recent...
okay, well, never mind. That explains it.
Thank you. All right, with that, we will now move on to the approval of the regular minute meetings of March the 15th, 2018. Are there any comments on the minutes? Any corrections? All right, I'll make a motion to approve the March 15th, 2018 regular city council meeting minutes as presented. Is there a second?
Second.
Please vote.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you very much, Chrissy. Now I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Binder for the consent calendar. Randy?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. Good afternoon. Your consent calendar has 6 items today. I do want to mention, though, about the comment made during public comments regarding the city's budget and a mistake that was made in the budget. I take full responsibility for every page that's in the budget that staff presents to the City Council, and I can assure you that the numbers that were highlighted in the middle of the page, that was the mistake. The number at the bottom of the page was correct, and
So was there any effect
No.
In the budget because of that one error out of hundreds of pages?
no, there was not. And I want to make that as a point,
Yeah.
not an argument, just a point of clarification. But thank you for pointing that out. Appreciate that. So let's see, on your consent calendar, you have 2 items. On item 1 is item A and B. This is the annual reports for the commissions of the city. We had 9 annual reports on your last agenda. This is the last 2. Is that right, Christy? The last 2 for this year. The Library and Observatory Foundation Board annual report is item number A, and the short report for number B is the Speaker Series Commission Annual Report. We were all at the Speaker Series. It was great, and the observatory is off to a great start as well. If you have any questions about those details, we're here to answer them. Item number 2, Mr. Mayor, on your consent calendar is consideration of Special Assistance Fund Award. The subcommittee is recommending American Outreach Foundation for an award of $2,500. And just to give you the running total, to date during this fiscal year, the city has funded 32 nonprofit organizations for a total of $96,000. Thank you, Gloria, for putting that report together. Item number 3 on your consent calendar is something you won't see very often. This is an extension of a completion date for parcel map 31761. What's parcel map 31761, you ask?
Yes,
That
I
is a
do.
parcel map that underlies the Vibra Rehabilitation Hospital. That's the rehab hospital, joint replacement and stroke recovery hospital that finally is completed at the corner of Duval and Ramon. And that was sort of like a miniature Ritz-Carlton, if you will. It took them a long time to find a new owner and new financing, and finally they finished the project. But in order to get their financing, the parcel map needs to have a short completion date for the extension. Staff is recommending approval of that. Item number 4 on your consent calendar is award of contract for traffic signal pole and equipment painting. This is city project number 17-338. We sent an RFP out on February 15th. We received 3 proposals on March 15th. The lowest responsible bidder was Color New Company for a total bid of $44,000. We checked their references and other background information, and they are responsible and a good. In fact, we've used them before, I think, right, Jesse? Correct. For other projects. And hopefully this project will start this summer if the council approves it now, and this is part of the ongoing O&M for the traffic signals around the community. Item number 5 on your consent calendar is approval of contracts. There's one there that would allow an extension for the landscape maintenance contract at the community park, which would allow the contract to expire at the same time as the other landscape maintenance contracts in the city. So when we put out an RFP to rebid them, we can get maximum economies of scale. And item number 6 are demands, which are the checks we write back to the hardworking people in the Coachella Valley to keep the economy humming, and staff is here to answer any questions, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Randy. On the consent items, any public comments or council comments at this time? All right, seeing none, I will make a motion to approve the consent calendar as represented. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Please vote.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. Next is reports And informational items, we will now receive an RMEA update from the one and only Isaiah Hagerman, our new Assistant City Manager. Hey,
Well-deserved promotion.
congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor,
Can you
members
fix
of the
the
City
numbers?
Council. My favorite topic these days, the Rancho Mirage Energy Authority. The implementation of the program is moving forward. Residents and businesses this week can expect another opt-out notice hitting mailboxes today and tomorrow. This will be the third mass mailing that we will do for this program. And in the past, I've given rather lengthy updates, and after 4 town hall meetings that were open to the public, I would really like to just take the opportunity today to highlight the various sections of the Rancho Mirage Energy Authority's website. If we can go ahead and bring that up, Jason, thank you. Our website is a fabulous place to get information. So anything you want to know about the program, you can find out on our website. You can get here through multiple ways. You can go directly to ranchomirageenergy.org, or you can go to the city's website and there's a picture of the logo, and you can just click on the picture and it'll redirect you directly to this website. So on the home page, we've got the basic information. We've got our video that we put together. We have information about the 3 programs that we're offering. And really, if you scroll down to the very bottom of the page, if you want to stay up to date on the program as we release updates, you can subscribe your email right here and you'll be signed up for all of our e-blast updates. It's an easy way to stay in touch with the program. If you have a question, you can just fill it out right here on the page and you can submit your question. Someone will get back to you. Or if you prefer, you can go to the Contact Us page, and there's 2 email addresses here or a phone number that is our call center that anyone can call into with specific questions about the program. And during the town halls, the way that we started the presentations was really to show people, I think, what this program really is. And what this program is it's a savings program for the electricity or the power that you use in your home. And all we simply do is we procure the power for our community, and by doing so, we get to replace our lower rate schedule onto the Edison bill. So from a customer standpoint, the way that this program works is you're automatically signed up for the savings, and really nothing else changes after that. Edison is still the utility. They're still going to bill and collect from you every month. We're just simply taking our lower rate schedule, which saves you money, and we put it onto the Edison bill. So there's actually nothing a customer has to do to get signed up for the savings. The way the program works, when it launches, everybody's automatically signed up for the 5% savings on their electricity. So on our website, and I think this is an easy way to look at it, is if you go to Billings and Rates, you go to Understanding Your Bill. We have a sample bill here for people so that they can get a context of really what this program does, and it discusses the key components of an Edison bill. So there's 2 components. There's the delivery charge. That's the charge for the poles and wires. Edison is still in charge of that component of the bill. That's their rate schedule. All we're taking over is the generation rate. So the power that you use and the charges associated with that power. So that's the rate schedule that we are taking over. So as you scroll through an Edison bill, the next page that you see, these are the Edison charges. This is the delivery charge for the poles and wires. That's still Edison. That's still what they control. All we're simply doing is on page 5 of your bill, we're replacing the higher Edison schedule with our lower Rancho Mirage Energy Authority schedule for the energy that you are using. So that's really what this program is. Every customer class, we had 24 different rate schedules that we approved for this program that mirrored the Edison rate schedules, which is how we provide a 5% savings to every customer. And again, some of the highlights is if you're a care customer, you keep your care discount and you'll save even more under our program. So about 10% of our residential meters are on the care discount, so there is no impact to the discount programs. The other popular one is the summer discount program, the medical medical baseline or the FARA program. Those are all discount programs. None of those discount programs are impacted by somebody becoming a customer of RMEA on May 1st. So everything's still going. If you want to find out any information, I would encourage you to check out our website, or there's several ways that you can get a hold of us and ask a specific question. Well, that's funny. That's good timing because I'm done.
Well, this is less than 30 minutes from last time, so he's doing pretty good. He's improving. Very good, Isaiah. Just kidding you. You did a beautiful job with all this. Really, really did.
Thank you.
What a wonderful rollout. Any questions from the audience on this subject? Any questions or comments from council?
I can make this comment that the people that stopped me regarding this program all expressed thanks to the council for reaching out and introducing another opportunity for our residents to benefit. And I think it's a testament to this council as to what we're doing. I've said before, it would be easy to do nothing and not subject ourselves to any potential question. But no, we've reached out. We've put together a terrific program, and initially we're going to save our residents 5%. And so I think that reflects the type of city that we have. We're always looking for ways to better the life of our residents.
Thank you, Ted. Appreciate that. And now we are going to recess into closed session. Mr. Lee, will you please introduce the closed session items?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The City Council will now recess into closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9 D4 to discuss 3 potential initiation of litigation matters, and pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9 D1 to discuss the existing litigation in the Veronica Juarez matter.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you, everyone, for coming here today and watching us on television. It's very nice to see you all. We are now into closed session.